She sent them packing to a cheap motel, lonely to find out the next morning he owned the entire hotel. The lobby of the Sterling Heights Hotel in Santa Monica was alive with activity. It was a Friday night, and every corner buzzed with the energy of wary travelers checking in, bellhops maneuvering luggage carts, and the soft fume of conversations bouncing off the polished marble floors. This was no ordinary hotel. Its grandeur was unmistakable. Towering palm trees framed the entrance, and a chandelier that cost more than most homes glimmered in the center of the ceiling. Behind the front desk stood Rachel, mid-30s, confident but visibly worn down from the day's relentless pace. She had spent the last 12 hours juggling demanding guests' last-minute room requests and the occasional irate caller who swore their reservation was somehow lost. Tonight, Rachel was in a mood for more surprise. Her uniform, crisp in the morning, now bore the faint wrinkles of a long shift, and her patience was threadbare. It was in this controlled chaos that the lobby door swore a man walked in, unremarkable at first glance, dressed in Ada Jan sneakers and a hoodie that looked like it had seen better days. She carried no luggage, just a leather messenger bag slung over one shoulder. The man paused, scanning the room as if searching for something or someone. His appearance barely turned ahead. Guests continued their conversations, and staff moved about with purpose. He was just another late night walk-in. He was just another late night walk-in. But there was something about the way he carried himself. His casual stance didn't match the nervous energy of most last-minute guests. She exuded a calm assurance. Cease if the bustling world around him was merely background noise. The receptionist noticed him too, but not for his quiet confidence. Instead, it was his disheveled appearance that sparked her judgment. Rachel gave a quick glance toward the man as she approached the desk. Suppressing a sigh, she could already feel her irritation bubbling to the surface. In her experience, late-night walk-ins were usually a hassle, either someone trying to haggle for a better rate or an exhausted traveler who wouldn't take an avora. Nanswerin, judging by this man's appearances, she thought she knew exactly which category he'd fall into. Good evening. The man said, his voice calm and unassuming. But beneath her determination, there was a faint sense of unease. She couldn't quite shake something about the older man from the day before lingered in her mind, though she refused to dwell on it. As the day progressed, Alana made her ritual round, censuring that every employee was on task. She barked orders at the sales team, adjusted price tags on display vehicles, and even berated a junior employee for allowing a potential customer to leave without securing a deposit. We can't afford to lose a sales. She snapped midway through the morning. She noticed a small gathering near the entrance of the lot. Curious and slightly annoyed, she stepped outside to investigate. There he was again, the older man. This time he wasn't alone. Flanking him were two sharply dressed individuals, a woman in a tailored navy suit and a man with a clipboard. Both exuded authority, their presence commanding attention from the staff and even a few passing customers. The older man stood at the center. His demeanor as calm as before, but his eyes seemed sharper, now almost assessing the scene before him. Alana's stomach twisted. She did. Net-like surprises, and this certainly qualified. Masking her discomfort, she strode toward them, her heels clicking with purpose. Excuse me, she began, her tone clipped but polite. Can I help you with something? The woman in the suit turned to face her, offering a professional, tight-lipped smile. We're here for our view of the property. I'm sure Mr. Eastwood can explain the rest. The name didn't register immediately, but Alana's focus shifted to the older man, who now seemed far less ordinary. I believe we met yesterday, he said, his voice calm but laced with some Nengsha couldn't quite place amusement. Maybe. I'm Clint Eastwood, and this lot, well, it belongs to me now. For a moment, Alana stood frozen, her mind racing to process what just heard. Clint Eastwood. The name clicked, hitting her like a ton of bricks. Her composure cracked. You wait. You're the new owner, she stammered, her voice barely above a whisper. That's right, he said, his tone unwavering, his eyes locked onto hers, and for the first time she realized just how much power he held in this moment. But the gravity of her mistake hadn't fully sunk in. Even when it did, it would be too late. Town done the damage. The air felt the avere.